Now You See Me, Now You Don't is a fun time at the theaters, guys. If you haven't seen this one before, it comes in at 61% on the tomato meter, 81 by the audience. So people who are seeing this are liking it. And I gotta say, I was a little bit hesitant at first about this franchise. Like, we knew that there was going to be some new faces there, Dominic Sessa, Ariana Greenblatt, and it was kind of like, okay, well, they're just going to try to pass on the torch now, right, from this older cast to the new cast. And this movie's not that. It's a pleasant surprise. It's a mix of that, and I appreciated that because I was a little bit worried that it would be kind of dry and stale. But the standout is the cast. Like, it's an ensemble cast, and it's a mystery movie. You're trying to figure out what's going on. What information can I trust that I'm seeing? Because it's about illusionists and illusions. So they're going to try to trick you with what they're showing you. Directed by Ruben Fleischer. A diamond heist reunites retired horseman illusionists with the new performers Greenblatt, Smith, and Sessa as they target dangerous criminals. Yes, so this time out, the bad guy is Rosamund Pike, and she does a fantastic job in here. Say what you will about her accent. I just think that she has this level of menace to her. I mean, if you've seen Gone Girl, you know that she can dial it up. And she's just having fun with this role as somebody who's like after the diamonds for like nefarious purposes for arms dealing. But it was good seeing Jesse Eisenberg, Woody Harrelson, Dave Franco, and Isla Fisher was back in this, which I thought was really cool because after the second one, it was kind of like, well, is she there anymore or isn't she going to be there? She kind of like disappears, right? I just like how this unfolded because it explained everything. This is what happened to her. This is why we don't see some characters from the second one, or do we? That's what I meant by it was kind of like an Avengers type feel, where it was like all this big cast coming in, and it's just like, well, I wasn't expecting that. I really wasn't. I wasn't expecting it to be this good either. And I'm having a fun time watching Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I left the theater saying, yeah, I could be up for another one of these. This was fun. So let's go over to my score sheet here and fill out some numbers before we go over to the tomato meter and take a look at some of the ratings. So if you don't know how this works, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. Acting, it is, well, it's serviceable. Is there an outstanding performance in here that says you got to watch it because of this? Eisenberg has a few moments in here. Dominic Sessa, he really, like, he's a character that you don't like at first, as one of the new illusionists. But then you soften to him, and they bounce off of each other. Like, it's kind of like the new guy bounces off the head new guy bounces off the older head guy, and the two girls, they've got fantastic scenes in here. And they all do great jobs. So collectively, I'll say 1.5 for the acting. Directing, I'm going to give 1.52 as well, because while the technical aspects of the cinematography, the score, it's got some good needle drops in here. The pacing of the story is fairly well done. It pops. It moves along. You don't feel the runtime at all. And you just have a fun time with this. Is it a little bit cardboard when it comes to the tone of it? Like, we know this feels like, in CSI when they finish wrapping up, oh, this is how it was all done kind of thing. It feels like that at times, but it's no big deal. And because I had fun with it, and because it had some surprises in there with people who show up in this movie, I was like, okay, no, I like this. I'm having fun. Cinematography, I'm going to give a full 0.2 because there's some illusions in here that really work. There's a car sequence in here that also is very well shot. And because of those needle drops, full score, full point for the score there because it works. And we're sitting at 6.5 right now for Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Let's go back to the tomato meter here and take a look at some of the critics and audience's reactions. Observer UK, if a movie could be punchable, this one would be. So they didn't like it. Let's go to somebody who does like it over here. Absolutely delightful as a villainous Diamond Harris is Rosamund Pike, with a wicked South African accent and a twinkle in her jaded eye. Jaded eye, huh? Well, she was good. And the way the cast comes together to thwart her is also really good. Because there's a couple of switch ups where you're like, oh, okay, how are they going to get out of this one? Epoch Times says cinematic cotton candy that melts from the mind, but so did the first two movies, which grossed 700 million to lukewarm reviews, which is a kind of a magic trick, yeah, in itself. But I gotta say, this is just harmless, good, wholesome fun. It's got that same type of feel as a Mummy movie, right? That's topical right now. It's just that fun ride. And it's totally worth checking out in the theater if you can, guys. So let's take a look at an audience member who didn't like it. The movie is disjointed, and it takes a while to actually get started. It relies heavily on retreads from the first two movies, and the twist at the end is hardly believable, even in a movie about illusions, probably, what he says. So I don't know, not disjointed. I think if you're not, you just weren't paying attention. That reeks of somebody watching the movie while playing on their phone. Eric W. says, great installment to the Now You See Me series, but it feels like a handoff to the young group. No, it doesn't, actually. I don't think it does. I'd go like, it feels like that's what it was going to try to do. So I could see that angle, but it doesn't. The original Horsemen had nothing to do with the main heist. No, they had a lot to do with the main heist. What are you talking about? No. Well, one of them was captured, but that was part of the plot. Guys, it's good. But that person still gave it a good score. 5 out of 5. Entertaining, but too many unbelievable sequences. Ending was anticlimactic, but the stage was set for another sequel, and I would watch that sequel. I totally would. With this new cast, Ariana Greenblatt was really good, and it was how she bounces off of Dominic Sessa and Justice Smith. Those are the new people, and whoever this Thabang Malaba is, he's kind of like the henchman to Rosamund Pike. He looked kind of like a younger Tyson, Mike Tyson for some reason. I didn't know that much other work that he's been in, so I haven't checked that out. But Dominic Sessa, you'd recognize, because he was in that movie, The Holdovers, with Paul Giamatti, and he was really good in that. Go check out that movie, because he was a standout in that. So, Now You See Me, Now You Don't. I'm higher than the critics right now. Will I be as high as the audience? Let's go back to that score sheet and wrap this up. For the watchability factor, that is a possible 2 points each. Or 2 points, sorry. I can't give it like, would I want to own this? No, but it's worth the watch. If you like the other two and you want to see some of the cameos that come up in this, I would check this out again, and I would totally watch this again. Yeah, so I am sitting at an 8 out of 10. I'm pretty much in line with the consensus from the audience there. And trust me, guys, I have no idea what my score is. Sometimes I'm thinking that it's going to start high, and then it's not, because when you actually start to think critically about this, some of the technical aspects, some of the execution of how the story comes together, it doesn't always work out the way that you think it's going to. But I found myself pleasantly charmed by this movie. And I would totally revisit it. So, that's what I say. 8 out of 10 for Now You See Me, Now You Don't. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. Hey, if you like this kind of thing, come join us, because we just reviewed Regretting You and Wicked for Good right here on Mirror Domains. Yeah, I'm going to have to readjust that poster. I zoomed in on that's too close. That's what it was supposed to look like. Justice Smith, he was in that Jurassic World movie, right? Or actually, he was in a couple of them, right? But Ariana Greenblatt, she's working hard to try to bust through. I know that she's been in a few projects that just haven't really landed. Borderlands, yeah. But Dominic Sessa, trust me, he plays it so well off of Jesse Eisenberg because they pit those two as kind of like the the architects of the group, right? And it's kind of like there's some good chemistry there. Isla Fisher being back was cool, and then of course the cameo, well, not the really the cameo, but the reveal of the girl from the second movie coming back as well. That was cool. Because at first in the makeup I thought it was Isla Fisher, and then it was her. Oh, what the heck was her name? Let me pull up Now You See Me Too. Why am I drawing a blank? Why am I drawing a blank on her? Yeah, she's right there. Lizzie Kaplan. Daniel Radcliffe was the bad guy in the second one, right? But Rosamund Pike, she did a good job as the villain. Really good. All right. Talking about Dave Franco in this movie. He's been having a good run here of movies here in 2025. He's not had Now You See Me, Now You Don't. He was in Together, which was, I think, his best work ever. And then he was also in this movie, Regretting You, which we'll talk about right now. Excellent. Fear. Fear attracts the fearful. Oh, look at that chemistry. Regretting You. I got to admit, I'm late to the Regretting You party. That comes in at 28% on the tomato meter, 85 by the audience. Critics blasted this one, but the people who saw it enjoyed it. This comes from the book, Regretting You. Now, I never read the book, but I did see the trailers, and I do like Mason Thames and McKenna Grace. I think they're two good stars, and this is a coming-of-age story and a little bit of romance in there about these two. And then, of course, tragedy strikes their family where the father dies, and we uncover mysteries about the father and how the mother and daughter try to deal with this. The mother's played by the person that was in Megan 2.0, right? Now, if you're going to compare this to the book, I don't know. I can't do that. But the synopsis of the movie reads, a mother and daughter must grapple with what's left after a devastating accident reveals a shocking betrayal and forces them to confront family secrets, redefine love, and rediscover themselves. Ooh. But anyway, yeah, just look at them there. I think they're a couple in real life right now, right? Which is whatever. It happens. But I was charmed by this romance going on, and I was like, sold. It really drove the movie home for me. And it was set up in the beginning with Scott Eastwood playing the father and Willa Fitzgerald as the aunt. And Clancy Brown shows up at one point to have some very much cookie cutter, or what do they call that? Fortune cookie type of wisdom peppered in there. But overall, it is a little bit hokey at times. Could you say, well, this whole issue of this drama going on would be easily solved if you would just sit down and explain the situation to the next person. But you are locked into what McKenna Grace is doing here as an actress, and she's going to be a big star, guys. She's just got extra gears of this in her. Like, if you don't know, if you've never heard me say that actors have different gears inside them, where it's just kind of like, okay, they're giving the lines, and it seems well, relatable, or it seems like they've sold the lines. But she's got extra gears in here because she's got to emote a range of different emotions: sadness, romance, confusion, frustration, and I gotta say, check it out for McKenna Grace. She makes the movie enjoyable. I don't know how it compares to the book, but Mason Thames also. Guys, Black Phone. He was in Black Phone 2. He was really good in Black Phone 2, and he was in the live action How to Train Your Dragon. He's having a good year. Regretting You. I'm sorry that I was late to the party. So you can tell now that I'm not going to be as low as the critics here, 28%, 85 by the audience. I'm not going to be as high as the audience score, but we'll come back to the tomato here as I start to fill in some numbers for the score sheet, which is going to be the tale of how this is going to go. Because if you don't know how this works, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points each. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. And the acting here, from the ensemble, Dave Franco is good in this. Allison Williams is also pretty decent. But yeah, the standouts are McKenna Grace and Mason Thames. You're watching it for that. And there are a few scenes in here where McKenna Grace does hit a home run. So full 2 points. Directing, pacing, technical aspects, cinematography. It's well shot. Pacing of the story, though, I gotta say, a few times, maybe in the start, it was just a little bit slow to get going. You want to get to that drama maybe a little bit quicker. But overall, I think I'm going to reserve the right to come back to the directing. I'm going to leave it at 1 for right now. But the story in itself, it's very soap opera kind of template. And I reserve the right to come back to that as well, because, no, I'm going to give it 1.5 right now, because there are a couple scenes in here that are payoffs. We know that she's going to have to come to terms with the loss of the father. Both the mother and the daughter will. It's how they reconcile that, and how Dave Franco's character in here also has got some skin in the game. And it's just, I want to see how this plays out, and I hope everybody is going to be okay at the end, and maybe they're not going to be. So, cinematography, it's well shot, nothing groundbreaking. Score, it's got some pretty interesting needle drops in there, so I'll give that a full point. 1 point for that. You're not going to give it a full point for cinematography. It was okay. All right, let's go back to the tomato meter and take a look at what people are saying. Whoops, sorry. 28% there. Let's see what the critics from the slate here are saying. Regretting You will aggravate anyone with a low tolerance for watching easily solvable misunderstandings that persist throughout a story, driving unnecessary conflict. Well, I sort of said something like that, but I forgave it. A too long 2 hours. Regretting You is once mild and bumpy, any momentum jolted by basic hits of mourning and uninspired romance. Uninspired? No. I don't think it was uninspired. It's a little bit hokey towards the end when they try to ham it up, or like, but it's okay. I found it was okay. Mechanical delivery and oft-timed humor. Off-time humor. Maybe. Mark Commode simply says, it's rubbish. Wow. How insightful, Mr. Commode. And he gets paid a lot of money for that, for those 2 words. Boy, what's the world coming to? So somebody who did like it, Regretting You has all the makings of a Hallmark Lifetime classic movie, but is elevated by its lead performances. And that's very good. I was trying to articulate it, but saying that it's like a Hallmark Lifetime type of movie, It is got that feeling of it, but it's elevated because of what McKenna Grace is doing, because of what Allison Williams is doing, Dave Franco, and Mason Thames. I think it's elevated because of that. You will want to watch it because of those performances. That's the way I look at it. Audience reviews. Our generation definitely needs to see this. So many emotions that thank you, Paramount. Cute. I liked it for the most part. Was a little slow feeling it overall, 4 out of 5 stars. So even though some people did say that some of the pacing was a bit slow, they did find it overall enjoyable. They did come out saying I liked it. Good romance movie. The main actors were great in this movie. I love reading Colleen Hoover books. This was a great film. So there's a testament of somebody who liked the books and also liked the movie. It's pretty much done its theatrical run now, guys. I am late to this movie. I was late, but I slipped into a matinee on Cheap Tuesday, and I was like, just pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised. Now, it's not Shakespeare, no doubt about that, but it's got its moments. So let's wrap this up on the score sheet and see where we land with the watchability factor out of 2 points. If anything that I've said has sold you, I hope so. I'd give that a worth watching full point. But when I watch it again for 1.5, for the acting performances, I would recommend it to watch it again in the acting performances. And I think that's where I'm going to sit. 1.5. Oh, sorry, 7.5. 1.5 for watchability, 7.5 overall for Regretting You. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below, and we will talk about it. So, if you like this type of thing, guys, we just reviewed the new movie Wicked for Good. That's up on the channel right now. And as well as Now You See Me, Now You Don't. Another really solid effort there at the theater. Hit that thumbs up button, and I'll see you next time, right here on Mirror Domains. Alrighty. Alrighty. I got to adjust the poster here. Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good. And I didn't use any of these photos. You know, they just released the new photos for Zelda and Link in the live action movies. And they're younger than these two, but if they were going for like the older Zelda and Link, I think they would have been a good pick. But we're not going with that one. Good stuff. But this is also good stuff. Wicked for Good. Wicked for Good. Ariana Grande, Cynthia Erivo return for Wicked for Good, the second part in the Wicked movies. And overall, my thoughts coming out of the theater were good. I was like, this is a good movie. It made me feel like I wanted to watch them back to back. So if you get the chance to watch like a double feature of them, I would totally recommend that. The standout here was the acting and the singing. no doubt about that. It comes in at 70% on the tomato meter, 96 by the audience. So the critics had some minor things wrong with it, but overall, the audience is liking this. And I have to side with the audience here because I found myself charmed by this movie. Wicked for Good. Touch long, comes in at 2 hours and 17 minutes. And it deals with Dale of Elphaba, the future Wicked Witch of the West, and her relationship with Glinda, the Good Witch of the North. The second part of a two-part feature film adaptation of the Broadway musical from John M. Chu. And if you saw the trailers for this, guys, yeah, I think, well, if you like the first movie too, then you're going to be on board with what was going on in this movie. I liked this one because it gave us little glimpses behind the scenes as to the Wizard of Oz movie, kind of like those events were unfolding, but those events were unfolding behind the scenes, right? Dorothy comes, and it's kind of like, well, that stuff is happening off screen. How is it going to tie into this story they're trying to tell us now? Is there going to be a scene where Glinda or Elphaba is going to directly be involved with Dorothy and the Cowardly Lion and stuff like that? I just liked how they worked all of that stuff in. It was fascinating because I never saw the play. I'm sorry, I don't know how it all unfolds. But the standout here, without a doubt, is Ariana Grande as Glinda. She is fantastic in this. She makes it totally worthwhile to see. At first, you're like, can she pull this off? Can Ariana pull this off? And she pulls it off, man. She's got this arc where you feel a little bit sorry for her because, you know, she's trying to be the good witch. She knows that she doesn't have power. She's trying to be this person that everybody wants her to be because she sort of wants that too. And then they capitalized on the relationship between Glinda and Elphaba. Like, I saw the trailers and I said, if they can make this work, then this is the backbone of it. You got to drive this home. And they do. Because you know that at one point in this movie, one of them is going to have to turn bad, right? And what we know from the lore, it's pretty obvious as to which one. But I liked how Ariana played off of that, because there's a couple of scenes in here where you see the disappointment in her eyes. You see the anguish. And I was hooked. I was sold. I was like, wow. Ariana Grande is a fantastic actress. So with that being said, let's go over to my score sheet and start filling out some numbers for Wicked for Good. If you don't know how this works, acting, directing, and story are out of a possible 2 points. Cinematography and score are out of 1 point. I think you know that we're going to get some good technical marks in here. But the acting overall, guys, it's beyond serviceable, right? I think collectively between Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande, everybody will be wanting to talk about Cynthia because the last one, but it's got to be Ariana this time, and Jeff Goldblum too. He's got some character revelations in here that are kind of like, ooh. And in the few moments that he's allowed to show you what he can do as an actor, because we know he's got range, we know that he's got skills, and he showcases them for us, and that's just awesome to see on the screen, guys. So acting is good, 2 points. Technical aspects was well shot for the most part. The color palette really draws you into this, and it's going to be hard to try to separate those feelings of, oh, it's nice, it's colorful, from trying to diagnose it on a technical aspect as a cinephile for like, okay, is that volume? Why are we just using these particular type shots when I want to see everything? I want to see the backgrounds. I want to see scope, right? And when they do the background shots, the plates, and show you the scope of things, it's CG. And you know that it is, and it has to be, but it's kind of like, I wish that perhaps there could have been a little bit of a better marriage, but of that technical aspect. But the directing for the other parts were fairly well done, and I'm going to give that 1.5. The story is also 1.5 because it is really about these two, right? It's about these two. There's some love stories put in the background there that I also liked. I liked the sister relationship with Alphaba and her sister. And I liked how the Cowardly Lion, the Tin Man, and the Scarecrow all came about. I really liked how that all fit into the movie. I felt like that really worked for me. And I liked how they did Dorothy as well. It was like, I don't know if I like this, because you watch the old Wizard of Oz movie and you're like, well, these are the good guys. These are the good guys, right? But we're seeing it from this different perspective, where maybe they're not good guys. And I find that kind of angle on this mythos refreshing. Because why not? Like, it's kind of like, it made me think about Mr. Freeze. Like, if you did a Mr. Freeze movie all from his angle, Batman would be the bad guy. And it's sort of like, are we getting that in this movie? Oddly enough, maybe just a touch. But let's go back and take a look at that score sheet and put in some numbers here for cinematography. The breathtaking visuals, though, I think for the most part, I'm going to have to give a full point. A bit CG heavy. I know it had to be. But the score plus the actual soundtrack of like the singing, just incredible. Because you get to see what Cynthia can do. And then this time you really get to see Ariana push her boundaries of getting up into those higher registers, holding it, being soft with the vocal also. The command of voice on display here between these two in the duets. It's just, wow. So we're sitting at 7 out of 10 right now for Wicked for Good. Let's go back to the tomato meter and take a look at what some of the critics and audience members are saying. I want to see what the critics are saying. Mark Kermode says there are some neat narrative twists. Liked it, though. It's a darker, gloomier, frustrating, less dazzled take on the Wicked IP. Should you still see it? Damn straight, since Cynthia Erivo and Ariana Grande are twice as wonderful the second time around. Somebody who didn't like it. Wicked for Good has precious little in the way of any actual magic. One might even go as far to call it a bona fide dud. No, see, now I think you're just stretching. Like, if you were to talk about the runtime, I could buy into that. I could say that, okay, we were a bit too long establishing some things. We dwelled a few times on scenes that I thought really didn't pay off, but when you get into the meat of it, it's just, wait. Well, anyway, if you were planning to see Wicked for Good in theaters, there's probably not much I can say that will dissuade you. Just go into it expecting that you might find this visit to the Emerald City disappointing. No, I don't think so. So that almost reads like somebody who is a big fan of the Oz films and doesn't like the fact that maybe the Tin Man and the Cowardly Lion and Dorothy are being portrayed in that way. That's the way I read that. Let's take a look at the audience. Costumes, scenery, and music were all absolutely amazing. A movie you definitely want to see in a theater to fully appreciate it. And I saw it in the IMAX. I saw this in the IMAX, and it was breathtaking. Great storyline that explained how Wizard of Oz characters were created. Gorgeous sets and powerful music that touches the heart. It does. It does touch the heart. Even just thinking about it. Now, my heart just wants to burst out of my chest. Yeah, it's a good movie. Yeah, enjoyable film, but I like the first part better. The songs were catchier. No, I still think that some of the songs were very catchable, especially that last number. Now You See Me or whatever. Or yeah, well, good stuff. Let's wrap this up um, with the score sheet. Was there anything else here I wanted to talk about? Good use of flashbacks. Good use of flashbacks. And Ariana just like the costumings for her, the makeup for her, the sets that she was on, like her room. Um, they photographed that all well. So yeah, she looked majestic. And I'm looking forward to seeing a lot more work from Ariana in the future, for sure. Wrapping this up, back to the watchability factor. I'm going to, well, if you like the first movie, you're going to want to check this one out anyway, right? If you like to play and you want to see how they wrap this up, you'll want to check this out at least once. But watching it again, no problem here. No problem here. Would I fight for a 9 out of 10? Could I possibly fight? Would I own this? Yes, I would. I would own this movie. And I will. Watchability factor is a 2. And I have no bad feelings about that whatsoever. 9 out of 10 for Wicked for Good. A good way to wrap that movie up. And I just feel like I think you guys are going to have a fun time at the theater watching this one. All right. Tell me what you thought about this movie in the comments below. If you like this type of thing, hey, we also reviewed movies like Now You See Me, Now You Don't on this channel and Regretting You. So, if movies are your bag, come join us here on Mirror Domains. I can't believe I forgot the name of that song. If I Knew You. Is that what it was called? Showing my ignorance here. Let's pull up the soundtrack. Is it For Good? No. Thank goodness. No Place Like Home. Yeah, it had some really good songs. Like, I'm going to listen to the soundtrack. Girl in the Bubble. No, I think it was For Good. Obviously, I can't play it for you guys. Yeah. Yeah, it was this one. For Good. Good stuff. Gonna give that the old thumbs up. Wait, that was Jonathan Bailey in this movie? Sorry, this just tells you how much I pay attention to the guys in movies. I don't. But it is what it is. All right. The only other movie that was opening up this weekend that I didn't get out to see because I've had a big change in plans was Rental Family, which I hear a lot of good things. Oh, and Sisu, Road to Revenge. Now, I never saw the first Sisu, so I was like, it's no point in me seeing the second one, right? I am going to go out and see Rental Family if I can, because I hear good things, and I do like Brendan Fraser. And if it's a feel-good movie, I want to feel... I do like feel-good movies. Let's check what's going on in the art house theater. Rental Family, Nuremberg, Begonia. I want to watch Begonia again. And Begonia's going to end up on my top 5 list of the year, probably. Wow, they played TMNT 2 Secret of the Ooze yesterday, 9:30 p.m. Huh. Sentimental value, I hear good things. That's that Stellan Skarsgård one, right? The original cinema. I didn't get to see that one, so I might have to go and see that one. It's in Swedish though, right? You have to check that out. All right, guys, that's it for me. What did you guys think? Let me know in the comments below any of these movies. And I'll see you next time right here on Mirror Domains.